Jai Gurudev and a joyful welcome to Sadhana on S3 with me, Alisha Gayaprasad. On this special Nelson Mandela International Day, we have an interesting lineup to keep you entertained. We begin by talking to renowned guru and school principal Kriba Vayapuri about the impact of the legend on his own life. Then take a peek at some tantalizing tastes with our own Radhika Gounden. Sadhana then explores Mandela's own land with a visit to the Lord in the mountains. And we end our show with a beautiful Kathak dance piece that showcases our own immaculate local talent. One of history's most inspirational figures, Nelson Mandela, once said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." For Hindus in South Africa and across the world, Mandela symbolizes a path guided by dharma, a commitment to righteous action without consideration of personal consequence. In fact, the sacred Ramayana is the embodiment of those ideals, where in many ways the life of Lord Ram mirrors that of Madiba. Grounded in the ideologies of democracy and Hinduism, we are joined today by an academic and guru, Mr Kriba Vayapuri, as we pay tribute to the life of South Africa's own Nobel Peace Prize winner, Nelson Mandela. Mr Vayapuri, in many ways, the Hindu scripture, the Ramayana, mirrors Mandela's own life. Would you like to elaborate on that, please?
Remember, we have two. We have divinity on the one hand, and avatar is an aspect of divinity who takes the human form for a specific purpose. Sri Rama's, the Maryada Purushottam, his sole purpose was to re-establish and to protect dharma. And he did this by removing our dharma or destroying, annihilating our dharma. Our dharma is actually unrighteous behavior, conduct that is not becoming of a human being. In other words, it is evil. Our dharma is evil and unrighteousness. And the sole purpose of the Ram avatar was to remove this evil and to re-establish dharma. We can draw a parallel between Sri Rama's divine appearance on this planet as well as Madiba. Remember, one is a mortal and the other we're talking about divinity.
Yes.
Right? Nelson Mandela, his incarceration for 27 years on the island was essentially to re-establish righteousness in this country, which was sadly lacking. So when we look at the Ramayana and we look at Sri Rama, his character, the way he went about, establishing dharma again in this world, one can not help but see a similarity in the way Nelson Mandela conducted his life. Because in both, we actually see Nishkama karma. Nishkama karma is action that is performed, that is selfless. It can almost be described as sacrifice. Here we have a man who sacrificed his entire life.
Yes.
And when you take your actions and you make those actions become selfless, that is the true test of the human spirit.
I must thank you so much for actually explaining this so well to our viewers and to me personally.
That's true, Alisha, because a man who spent 27 years in prison, when he came out, we would have expected to see some kind of bitterness against his oppressors, the people that made his life so miserable. But here we have a man who is actually holding out the olive branch to his oppressors.
A selfless man.
A selfless man indeed. What more can we look for in leadership? And Madiba showed us, and Ram too, when we look at qualities of leadership, effective leadership is not about positional power in the organizational hierarchy. It is about service delivery, where you actually respect everyone in the entire hierarchy. And this is when Madiba, he brought all these qualities of love, compassion, forgiveness, and understanding into his presidency.
Yes, that's
and we
true.
saw that is
As a professional with the background of education, as well as very learned in the Hindu ideals and Hinduism itself, tell me, how have you implemented this in your life as an educator, especially at Beacon Ridge Primary, the school where you retired as a principal?
You know, when I took over the reins of the school, in fact, when I actually was elevated to education management, it was at a time when democracy was being ushered into this country. So I found myself standing at the cutting edge of transformation. And here I was given a school where almost every learner was shackled in the powerlessness of poverty. And an amazing thing happened at that school. I, together with my teachers and the community members, we decided to take Madiba's, one of his beautiful quotes on education. If you can allow me, I beg your indulgence, I can try and remember that quote. Sure. Madiba once said, and I quote, "Education is that great engine for personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of that mine, and it is through education that the child of a farm worker can become the president of a great nation." And Madiba closes that quotation by saying, "It is what we make out of what we have and not what we are given that actually separates one person from the other." And as a collective now, my staff and the community of Velvidat and myself, we took those last two lines and we transformed that into this philosophy which is called self-help. Because he says, it is what we make out of what we have and not what we are given that separates one person from the other. And we use those last two lines to transform Beacon Ridge into a self-help school. Because remember, education is viewed by many, especially after the reconstruction and development program was effected in this country. Almost every person looked at education as a means to break the cycle of poverty. And they were all striving towards some using education to improve their social standing. It's a powerful tool. I think he says it's a powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. You remember that one? Yes. He mentioned that. And we also, at Beacon Ridge, because we found ourselves in a dilemma with regards to funding. So there were days when we felt very, very forlorn, despondent or depressed. But then we remembered the other quotation about Mandela where he says, if you can think it, you can achieve it. It always seems impossible until it is done. And we took that and we turned that school around.
I think many people are going to be inspired from this talk. So thank you so much for sitting in conversation with us. From the Sadhana team, we appreciate your time. Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
Welcome back to Sadhana. While what we eat may be deeply individual, cultural and traditional, yet the impact it makes reaches far beyond that. The promotion of healthy, diversified and sustainable diets is the need of the hour in regreening our world. In Conscious Cooking today, Radhika Gounden illustrates this with her delicious, nourishing and sattvic Buddha bowl.
Today on our menu, we have something that has taken the world by storm, known as a Buddha bowl. It is not only nutritious, it's quite exciting. It's sort of like build your own salad with a very exciting dressing. I just want to take you through our ingredients because It's a little bit of everything that comes together so nicely in the bowl itself. I've got some green lettuce, I've got some burgundy lettuce, I've got a grain, and this is pearl barley. You'll see that the grains are quite nice and round and plump. My protein is actually tofu, which I've pan fried, little cubes of tofu. I've got some coconut slices. It's a fresh coconut, I haven't toasted it. And I've got some cucumber half moons. We're gonna top up with some sunflower seeds, and I've got some dried cranberries, crunchy peanut butter, honey, some olive oil, and for this dish I've included some tahini. I've got some soy sauce, some mint, and I've got some seeds for dressing. And no Indian dressing would be complete with the delightful chili. To add a little bit of heat to the dish. So there we go. And I've kept aside to top our bowl with some kalonji seeds and some dry sesame seeds. So, but a Buddha bowl ideally starts with the grain, and I'm adding my pearl barley. I'm gonna toss in my lettuce. So I'm gonna toss in my cucumber. Again, nothing cast in stone. Just add whatever veggies you like, and preferably it should be in its raw state. So you want, like, you know, veggies that you can eat that's crisp, that you don't need to cook much. Add in my tofu cubes, some cranberries. A Buddha bowl is not complete without some dried fruit. So I've picked cranberry as my dried fruit of choice. I'm gonna toss in my coconut flakes. I'm adding my sunflower seeds because what's going to happen is it's going to get into the cracks that's left here. And not to mention our old faithful avocado. It's a good fat. Everybody, you know, that are weight conscious, this is what you eat. You eat this as butter because, you know, a lot of us have to abstain from that. And this is how you get nice little cubes of avocado out of it. You cut it like that. All our African Buddha bowl needs now is that beautiful peanut satay salad dressing. You know, no kitchen should be without a blender, especially if you wanna, you're always rushing. And you know, this dressing is such a quick mix. It's so quick. I'm tossing in our honey, tahini, our chili for heat, and the star ingredient, our peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter. So I'm adding a bit of olive oil to make it a little bit runny because the peanut butter tends to be a little bit thick. The soy sauce, you have to be careful because if you add too much of soy sauce, you're gonna have a black salad dressing, and we don't want. We want it to just darken the color a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of mint because I feel, I don't know whether because I love mint pickle, but I always feel that whenever you're having peanuts, you should have some mint. I'm just going to drizzle this lovely, heavenly dressing here. Oh, the peanuts are looking so good. Just drizzle, and as you toss when you are eating your bowl, you can add a little bit more on top. I'm going to add in some sesame seeds. Wow. My last is my black kalonji seeds. I think they're also called Nigella seeds, but you'll see why. The look on it is amazing.
From that mouth-watering treat, we explore the hills and mountains of our beautiful Madiba land. Yes, mountains have a special significance within Hinduism. It offers divine inspiration and is the focus of pilgrimages for thousands of years in India. The Himalayas especially have been associated with Lord Shiva, and Sadhana recently discovered a fast-growing place of serenity right here in the Drakensburg, a new abode for this Lord in our mountains.
Bam bam bole Shiv Shankar, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Bam bam bole Shiv Shankar, Om Namah Shivaya.
I never knew about this place until my daughter and son-in-law came here with the kids to the reptile park. They came across the Murthi and they took out photos and they came back home with it. And I was very impressed, and the thought came into my mind that I should come and do something here. CJ has done his part, and being a priest in Escort, I had this urge to do something myself. And then I spoke to Vishalan and I asked him, I told him the next Sunday we are coming here. We're going to do a video shoot.
I didn't understand how devoted people would be. And how they'd actually see what we'd created here and have such a deep connection. And so, as I said to you, I didn't do it to go out to the public. It was done just for ourselves. But then all of a sudden, whatever happened with that Facebook, it virtually opened Shiva's consciousness.
And so happened Shivaratri came on the 21st. And early in the morning, we have released the video. And directly after that, maybe 1-2 hours after, the phone calls started coming in. Where is this place? How do we get there? You know, all these questions are coming in. And like we are surprised, you know, all of a sudden. And this is the power of social media. You know, it just went viral. So after answering all these questions and all these phone calls, I realized that something big is taking place here. Okay. And that itself has made this place a religious site, pilgrimage site for all the Hindus that believe in Lord Shiva. And it's only because of Lord Shiva's grace that this has taken place.
It started basically with going to India. And then starting to feel there's something deeper inside of me which I need to explore. And so I started meditating. I went to the Art of Living Foundation and did pranic breathing, and then I used to do my breathing every morning, and I still do it every morning. I can only say Shiva inspired me because I don't know where it originated, how it originated, but I think probably the first time I went to India, it impressed me so much, this fact that everything was spiritual. Spirituality was taken into everything, and it was the first time I'd actually experienced that. And that dedication and that love people have for their deities. And so that's what I think first inspired me. Then I went back to India again, and a friend that I'd met in India, we went up to Gangotri, Yamnotri, Badrinath and Kedarnath. And I think going on that pilgrimage, it stirred something within me. Then later on I came back and I bought myself a small Ganesha Murthi, and I started to meditate. And then later on I bought myself a Shiva Murthi. Shiva started to call to me as well.
Bam bam bole Shiv Shankar, Om Namah Shivaya.
If you look at the Murthi that's behind us, Lord Shiva has 4 arms. All right, in 2 of his arms he has the trident, which is the Tirshul, the weapon of destruction. On the other hand, he has the Damaru, which is a musical instrument. And the other 2 hands, he has the pose of Varda, which is the pose giving to the boons to his devotees. And on the other hand, he holds a pose of the Adya, which is the protection that he gives to his devotees. Right? You see the crescent moon on his forehead? That indicates time. As you know, the waxing and the waving of the moon, that's how time is calculated. So Lord Shiva is the god of time as well. From his matted hair flows the Ganga, Mother Ganga, that flows down to earth, which gives us the life-giving entity called Ganga
This valley is a very peaceful place. It is a very high vibration from that mountain. So to experience this, the valley, its energy, and to do meditation and go in within, that is more what we put it out there.
Bam bam bole Shiva Shankar. Om Namah Shivaya.
What a beautiful sight it was. And I want to share a thought with you. The whole world follows a certain rhythm. Smallest of the activities like speaking, walking, etc. all have a certain rhythm. With a dance form like Kathak, you slowly move towards worshipping that rhythm, which gives rise to bhakti. These are the words of Kathak maestro Pandit Birju Maharaj. And as a fitting tribute on this special day, we bring to you a Kathak dance choreographed by Manesh Maharaj and performed by Kriti Lalla of the Chinmaya mission. Do enjoy. From the Sadhana team, keep shining your beautiful divine light into the world. Namaste.